Hey friends, it's me, Christiana Gaudet. This is our Tarot Meetup and Informal Workshop. This event was originally going to be during my Tampa Tarot Tour at the Panera in Lutz. Well, for obvious reasons, we're not meeting there today, and I look forward to the time when we will be able to meet there and also at Panera in Palm City. But, this has sort of forced me to move these events online. And I love it that we can have so many people from all over gathering here. So even after we're able to meet in person, we're still going to continue these online meetings. And of course, if you are watching in archive after the fact, we welcome you as well. Let me say hi to some folks as people start to come into the room. Sally Larkin, happy to see you. Gypsy Jade, Twisted Yoga, that's my friend Janet, I betcha. Glad to see you. Mercedes, glad you're here. And I gave some instructions earlier. If you happen to have two decks with you, we're going to do readings first, and then we're going to do some study. If you have only one deck, I'm going to give you a chance to remove the cards that we're working with later. But if you happen to have two decks, we're going to have one deck for readings and another deck for study. And if that's the case, and only if you have more than one deck with you, take out the aces, pages, and tens just from the minor arcana, put them to the side. We're going to use them later, but if you only have one deck, that's okay. You only need one deck. We'll give you a chance to take the cards out when the time comes. Laura, nice to see you here. Julia, glad you're here. Krika, Smile Soul, Linda Tierney, so nice to see you. I've missed seeing you in person. Kim Essex, glad you're here. Pamela Thies, glad you're here. Barbara O'Brien, happy to see you. Jackie, glad you're here. Marion, happy to see you. And let's see, Carol, missed meeting with you at Panera here in Palm City, but glad you're here. And Sally, Wheel of Fortune as well. No, we're just going to be working with the minor arcana for that particular exercise. Claire, happy to see you. Ashley, Suzanne, Angela, glad you're here. Kim, of course, has a multitude of decks. She always does, but can't commit to which one she's going to use for readings. That's okay. Hey, Barbara Money, so happy to see you here. So we welcome everybody. And what we're going to do here today is very similar to what we do for Global Tarot Circle on Facebook, which is also very similar to what we do at our in-person meetings. For this meeting, we are going to be here for about an hour and a half. If you can't stay for the whole thing, or if you've gotten in late, that's no problem. Happy to see you for whatever time you can be here. Marion's like, just two decks? Yeah, So, can we start? A lot of you have already said hello. Glad you're here. Can you, at this time, let us know what burning questions you may have. Dave asking, what if you're not playing with a full deck? Yeah, well, many of us have many decks, but there still may be some question as to whether we're playing with a full deck. So we always start with burning questions. Of course, I wanted to make sure I had a pen and a piece of paper with me. I got paper. Do I have a pen? That's an interesting question. Well, we'll work with it. The aces, the pages, and the tens, if you have a deck that you can put to the side and not use for readings. If you have more than one deck with you, from that other deck, you want aces, pages, and tens just from the minor arcana. That's an exercise we're going to do later on. I'm just getting you ahead of the jump in terms of having to remove those 12 cards later on. If you only have one deck, that's okay. And here we go. Janet at Twisted Yoga knows exactly what to do. Burning questions. So We always start with burning questions. A burning question can be any question you would want to ask a room full of tarotists. That could be a question such as Janet has asked, something going on in your life where we can do a reading for you. It might also be a burning question about tarot, about a reading you've done, about a card you don't understand, about a particular deck, about a particular technique. As I've said, I have an exercise for us to do. That's the informal workshop part of our program. But we also have time to handle your questions about tarot wherever you are on your tarot journey. Part of what we can do here together is share our knowledge, our practice, our techniques. We all read differently. We all see the cards differently. And the more that we can share with each other, the more we can all learn from each other. Now, as people are typing in their questions, we've got a couple, and we'll get to them. But as people are typing in their questions, let me just share with you a few things that are going to be going on. So next Saturday is the summer solstice, June 20th. I will be doing a class right here on YouTube Live in the morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It's an hour-long class. It's free. And the class is the High Priestess, the Hierophant, and the Hermit. We're going to spend a whole hour looking at these three major arcana cards. I think you will find it very enlightening and very interesting. Now, on a much more informal level, I want to invite all of you who are on Facebook, if you haven't already, to join the Global Tarot Circle group. Ask to join the group. What we're going to do at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Saturday the 20th is we're going to do a summer solstice gathering. We are going to do an informal circle. We'll do some summer solstice magic. And our theme is going to be about finding and using our voices as we head into the dark half of the year. This is a very informal thing. We're trying some things with technology. We're hoping it'll work. But I'd love to see you there. It should only be about half an hour long. And it should be a lot of fun. And once you're in the Global Tarot Circle group, you will get all the information you need to join us every month on Facebook on my business page for Global Tarot Circle. Right, 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Yes, that's right, New York time. Okay, technically it's not EST right now, it's EDT. But yeah, that's exactly what we mean, New York time. Okay, so, what else can I tell you? I have a premium class coming up on June 30th that I am very interested in sharing with you. We do the premium classes on Zoom. You have to pre-register. They are $37.50 American dollars. Yes, Global Tarot Circle group on Facebook. That's exactly right. So, my class, I do one premium class a month on Zoom. I'd love to have you join me. The class this month, it's June 30th, 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It's called Psychic Tarot. And we are going to do a really deep dive into the psychic development that we need as tarot readers to add intuition into the work we do. This is a very practical class. It sounds really woo-woo, and it is, but it's also really practical. You're going to learn some very sound techniques for working with your intuition within a tarot reading. So I hope you will make plans to join me for that as well. We will also have another, yes, that's June 30th. We will also have, hey, Lori Ha, nice to see you. We will also have another one of these sorts of meetings this month, coming up this month here on YouTube. And that's because I had scheduled 2 tarot meetups at Panera for this month. Michael Wells, nice to see you. One was to be in Lutz today, and the other was to be in Palm City. And so now both of those are here on YouTube. And so my commitment going forward, even after we're able to meet in person, is going to be I will do 3 pre-scheduled free live events on YouTube every month, because that's what it has turned out to be, and that feels good, right? So we'll keep on doing that. So the cat is here. So am I a cat person? I don't have any. I have had cats in the past. I don't have any. But cats do seem to like me, and cats love the cards, man. They love this process. So what else can I say in terms of shameless self-promotion? And I'm going to allow all of you to do shameless self-promotion at the end. The one other thing I will say, of course, is that I am available for readings by phone, Skype, FaceTime, Messenger, Zoom. I'm not welcoming people into my office yet. I know that Florida has opened up, so legally I could do classes here. Legally I could see people here, but I'm not. And I'm not because as long as I see those infection numbers rising, I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to put you at risk. I don't want to put me at risk. We're going to be patient and we're going to meet online, and that's what we're going to do. Now, of course, I am still planning for StarCon, the Southeastern Tarot Artists and Readers Conference, to be held in January 2021 in Palm Beach Gardens. This will be an annual event. I want it to become a thing that everyone does every year. And we are planning to have our first in-person event in January. You can learn all about that on the StarCon website, spelled STAARCON. Please do make plans to join us. We are, the astrology seems to say that by the end of January, we can do it. I've talked with the hotel, and they are willing to, help us with social distancing measures if we need them. Right, and that's what Mike, exactly. When hospitals start allowing visitors in, we'll feel safer. Exactly. And Dave's talking about cats being very psychic. And yeah, happy for the virtual YouTube meetings and the classes on Zoom. Absolutely. So let's get started. I will not be doing the Tarot Academy, the Tarot Summer School this year. I did do it a couple years ago. It was so much fun. I absolutely enjoyed it, so I'll hope to do it again. So here we go. This is what we're going to do. Lynn says, I think you're smart holding off on opening up. I think the smart ones are going to be the ones who get through this. I know that chances of actually dying or being permanently maimed by this disease are fairly small. But I don't want to take that risk. And, I don't know if you notice the gray hair here, but I'm not young. I'm youthful and I want to stay that way. So, that's what I'm going to do. And I thank you so much for your support and being here and being present with me here on YouTube. So I really appreciate that. Okay, so get your reading deck together. Whatever deck you're going to do reading with, if you just have one deck with you, that's your deck. We are going to start with some readings, as we always do. And this is how it's going to work. I've got your questions. I will address a question with one card. And then all of you, if you would like to read for that person too, on YouTube, you can just put an @ symbol and their name, then put the name of the card you got, just one card, and your interpretation. So what's going to happen is we're all only reading one card, but together we make a full reading. And so if I read for you, make sure you scroll through the comments to get the rest of your reading. Now, I will move very fast here. This is great practice for you wherever you are in your tarot journey. This is great practice. But I move quickly because I've been doing this forever, since dinosaurs walked the earth, number one. And number two, it's quicker to speak than it is to type. So don't feel like you have to keep up. Instead, maybe do every other one. Or maybe just do the ones that you feel like doing. That's okay. There's enough of us here that there'll be enough people doing readings for every question. And Michael is using the Victorian Fairy deck today. Very cool, very cool. Okay. And Kim says, yeah, it's a little easier here than on Facebook Live. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so let me start. I'm going to try to get to the questions in order. Okay. Okay, let's see. Saying hi to everybody. Glad you're all here. We have a lot of people who have been here before and a lot of people who are here for the very first time, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad to see you all. Okay, let's see. Okay, we're going to start with Twisted Yoga. My friend Janet Meredith, and she has a beautiful cat. We were talking about cats. She has a beautiful cat who does tarot readings, with a cat deck on Instagram. So Janet at Twisted Yoga, you're going to have to drop the Instagram handle of your tarot reading cat, because I think there's a lot of people there who will really enjoy seeing that. It's pretty cool. Okay, hey Peggy Lou, nice to see you. Okay, very good. So here's the burning question for Twisted Yoga. I found a condo. Is it for me, and will I get the money? Let's see, what do we think? And again, go ahead and if you would like to read for her, at Twisted Yoga, the name of the card, and your interpretation. What about this condo? 4 of Cups reversed. It's a good possibility. There are other possibilities too. You can look at other things as well, but this one is worth your consideration. Okay. Gypsy Jade. Should I play the lottery? What an interesting question. If you'd like to ring in on that one, at Gypsy Jade, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Queen of Cups. I wouldn't do it for money. I mean, if you find that it would be fun or you would enjoy it, you can. But, you know, I feel like there may be other things you would do better to nurture. Okay. Okay. Krika Morera. Did I do that right? Please forgive me if I mispronounce your name. I really do apologize. My name's Christiana. People mispronounce it constantly. And so I try to be very, very sensitive. I do apologize if I don't get it right. Would this be a good year to begin to do readings? And I assume you mean professionally. So, at Krika, C-R-I-K-A, name of the card you got, and your interpretation. And again, if I read for you, make sure you scroll through to see all the readings. Ooh, we got a jumper here, folks. The 6 of Wands for you, Krika. So yeah, I think you should. I think you're good. I think sometimes you don't know that you're good. You don't always believe in yourself. But I think you should, and I think you should go for it. Hey, TK. TK is here on YouTube with his actual name, Karen Tillich. But we call him TK, at Karen Tillich right here. My burning question is, how can I stop overthinking and have more self-control? Okay. 3 of Cups. You should do some drinking. No, seriously. Listen to music, dance, focus on things that you enjoy. Give your brain something more fun to play with. And if you'd like to read for TK, it's at Karen Tillich, the name of the card, and your interpretation. Yes, 6 of Wands, Krika. And to me, that's an absolute resounding yes. 100% yes, you should. Okay. Kim Essex. How can I be helpful in the world right now? What should I focus on doing? Okay, if you'd like to read for her, at Kim Essex, the name of the card you get and your interpretation. How can you be helpful in the world right now? Woohoo! The star. Recognize that you are a healer. Have hope for the world. Pray for the world and offer healing to her inhabitants. Okay, Claire C. If you'd like to read for Claire, at Claire C, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation to answer this question. Will my niece sell her home in Guam? When? Let's see. Ooh, 10 of Swords reversed. I think it's going to take some time. I think she will be able to do it. It's going to take some time, and it's going to be stressful. Okay, Ancient Voices. What is the next wisest step for me to take professionally? If you would like to answer that question, at Ancient Voices, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. And I see a lot of people doing readings here. Thank you so much for participating. Thank you for being here and for being part of our worldwide tarot community here. I really appreciate it. Okay, so Ancient Voices. Ooh, the Fool. Whatever step you want without fear, with the wisdom of a child, and in a light-hearted way. I feel like there is sort of already a step that you know you want to take, but are afraid of, and it's big. Don't be afraid, just do it. Mercedes. Should my daughter stay at the dorm at college when classes start, or should I bring her to Florida to stay with me? Yeah, that's a very interesting question. I think there's a lot of question marks around school. And I don't know if this is a COVID question or a question about your daughter in particular, but I think the answer is going to be the same, either way. We're just going to look. Mercedes Lahaye, maybe? I'm sorry if I don't pronounce that correctly. At Mercedes, name of the card, and your interpretation. Should daughter stay at the dorm or should she come home? I got the Knight of Cups. She may want to stay at the dorm, but I think you should bring her home. Okay, and for you, Krika, regarding time zones, just so you know, it's about 25 minutes after 3 p.m. here. So you can do the timing there so you can figure out when it's going to be 5 p.m. next Saturday, and meet us on Facebook in the Global Tarot Circle group. I don't usually broadcast in the group. This is a new thing, and I'm doing it just for the solstice. I just think it'll be good. This is just a fun and meaningful thing for us. Okay. Linda Tierney, my good friend. Am I going to get a different job soon to make money? Okay. If you'd like to read for Linda, at Linda Tierney, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What do you see about a new job for her soon? The Lovers, I would say yes. I would say you'll be getting an offer and creating a new relationship in a new job. So yes, I would say soon. Okay, Barbara Money has a burning question about a reading. Okay, and let's just dive right into this and do this. And so if you have a comment about this next topic, just address it to Barbara Money, so we'll all know that that's what you're talking about. I did a 3-card reading for the spring season, and I got 6 of Pentacles, the Star, and the Tower. Strange mix or what? Well, and doesn't it make sense? Doesn't it make sense? 6 of Pentacles, we all had to help each other and work together. The Star, there was real need and real opportunity for healing. And the Tower, geez Louise, man, quarantine, citizen uprising, all kinds of stuff going on. Send in the murder hornets. Oh my goodness. And, we'll see what the cards are for summer. But I think that made a lot of sense. And, with those two major arcana cards, Tower and Star, those cards in the deck follow each other. Tarot is 16, Star is 17. So there is this sense that reminds us that after all of this upheaval, there will be healing. And with that Six of Pentacles, we haven't, as a society, been so good at taking care of each other. And maybe that's what this is all about. Maybe these cards speak to what we've been going through as a society. And, we're not all Americans here. This is a global group. I'm speaking as an American, but maybe there are some things that remain consistent across the globe, where this pandemic has really been an opportunity for us to treat each other with compassion and try to be helpful and loving to each other while at a distance from one another. And that is not the easiest thing. And then we look at what's going on with Black Lives Matter, with the need to finally come to some reckoning and accounting on racial justice, not just in the United States, but across the planet, and what that looks like and what that means. And I think these cards speak to all of that and really are difficult, but also hopeful. So that's what I say. Anyone else has something to say? Go ahead and say it. Okay. So Pamela Thies, no Page of Cups, huh? That's interesting. Okay, Laura S., burning question. How to deepen or hone my intuitive skills for reading tarot for myself and others. If you would like to do a reading on that, at Laura S., name of the card you got and your interpretation. The Queen of Pentacles, make sure you are grounded, number one. And number two, take the time to learn the actual skills. The thing is, intuitive work, psychic work, tarot work, it's like any other kind of work. And the thing is, when we talk about psychic skills, a lot of us, when we're young, have psychic experiences, or just on a day-to-day basis, we have psychic experiences, and we or our friends or our parents are like, oh, look at that, you're really psychic. And so we think, well, this is just a gift. But it's just like music. A child may have a beautiful singing voice, but if they don't actually take lessons, they are never going to achieve what they could achieve. So I think it's about grounding yourself in wisdom and knowledge and classes so you can be confident. And also, with the Queen of Pentacles, doing actual grounding exercises to connect you to the earth, to be grounded, so that you have that base of support in your work. Okay. Jackie Scott. My burning question is, will I find an income-producing activity that I will enjoy and will support me? All right. So if you'd like to read for Jackie, at Jackie Scott, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Let's take a look and see. Finding an income-producing activity that is enjoyable. So we have the Seven of Cups reversed. And I think what that says is, in order to do this, you need to kind of narrow it down. You need to figure out what you want, what your skills are. You need to figure out what you want to go for. And then I think you will. Okay, lots of great readings going on here. Okay, Angela Peavy. If you would like to read for Angela, go ahead and put her name at Angela Peavy, the name of the card you got, and your answer to this question. How can I enhance my clairaudience? The Hanged Man reversed. Really the same thing that I was saying to Laura. You really have to take control of the development here. Don't just let it come to you. Go seeking it. Do exercises to open up to it. Learn how to, read the books, take the classes, do the practice. Okay. And Krika, for the classes, where can we pay and where can we see all the information? Okay, well, you can go to my website, christianagaudet.com, and look at the events. You can find it all there. And you can, while you're there, sign up for my weekly newsletter, Tarot Topics. It comes into your inbox every week, and then you'll always see what's going on. Okay, Sally, burning question. We are thinking of skipping our Connecticut trip due to COVID and world chaos. Is that necessary or are we overreacting? Okay, should Sally and Dolly go to Connecticut this summer? If you'd like to read for her, at Sally Larkin, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Two of Cups reversed. I do not think it's overreacting. I think that you should not go. Plain and simple. Okay, very good. Okay. Let's see. I am just, here we go. Next question, here we are. Michael Wells, at Michael Wells, name of your card, and your answer to this question, is there love coming for me soon? Well, I'm glad you're asking that question because when I first met you and read for you the first time, you were like, yeah, no, I don't want that. I don't need that. That's not going to happen. So I'm happy you are now open to it. Interesting. I shuffled, but same card as I just pulled before in answer to another question, Seven of Cups reversed. I almost feel like you have a hard time imagining it or seeing it. Really accept the fact that you are a lovable person and that you can have a healthy relationship. And I think as soon as you can do that, love will be there. Okay. Ashley. If you would like to read for Ashley, at Ashley, the name of the card you got and your answer to this question. I would like to know about my transition into an insurance job. The High Priestess reversed. I feel like it's happening, but I think it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a lot to remember, a lot that you have to do. It is not going to be easy. You're going to have to study. I think that you can do it. But I think that it's going to take some time and effort, and you're going to have to really believe in yourself. I think you can be very hard on yourself. So you're going to have to believe in yourself. Okay. Heidi B. If you would like to read for Heidi, go ahead and put her name, Heidi B., the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Will I be returning to my job soon? Let's take a look. Ooh, Five of Wands. Maybe yes, maybe no, or maybe in a more limited capacity. I don't think it's going to be easy, and I don't think it's going to be soon. Okay, very good. Lots of great readings going on here. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing this. And we'll be doing this for another 5-10 minutes, and then we will go into our workshop. Okay. Hey, Julie Barrett, I'm so happy to see you. Miss you in person. Okay. Kaleidoscope Tarot, glad you're here. Just looking through, scrolling through, looking for questions. Lots of readings, lots of readings. Okay, very good. And again, if I've read for you or if you have to ask a question, make sure that you go through the comments and get the rest of your reading. Go through the many, many, many comments. Go within healing. Nice to see you here. And Janet, you offer pranayama, breathing exercises, which I assume would have been for intuitive development or grounding or something of that nature, right? I mean, who shouldn't do breathing exercises, really? Okay, very good. Looking for those questions. See lots of readings here. Okay, Smile Soul 20. Will I go to Florida by the end of 2020? Would love to see you here. Would love to see you here in 2021, January for StarCon. If you would like to answer that question, Smile Soul 20, name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Going to Florida by the end of 2020. Knight of Wands reversed, maybe not. Okay, Julie Barrett. Burning question, if you get this far. We did. My friend is promising a visit. What is the energy around that? Okay, at Julie Barrett, name of the card you got, and your interpretation. My friend is promising a visit. What is the energy around that? Temperance reverse, there's a question about timing. There may be like a quarantine-related question around that. And there may even be a question around what the nature of the visit is. What are we going to do? Why are we doing this? What is spoken? What is unspoken? This is not to say that this should not happen, but it is to say that you want to have it happen carefully and clearly. Okay, let's see. Lots of, hey, Serena Fox, nice to see you here. Okay. Will there be another COVID outbreak in the fall? So that's an interesting question. I wonder where you are, because like from my Florida perspective, I'm like, what do you mean another? Our numbers are climbing faster than they have ever before right now, this minute. So I think, whereas New Zealand is free and clear right now. So, it depends where you are. So I'm not sure how we want to address this in a worldwide way, but let's give it a try. At Go Within Healing, and let's just ask, what will the energy around COVID-19 be in the fall? And see what we see. 8 of Pentacles reversed. I feel like, the things we've been doing, we haven't been doing enough for long enough. It's not going to be good. So depending on where you are, of course, I do feel like we need to be prepared that we will still have problems in the fall. Peggy Lou Leven's burning question. If and when will I get a vacation out of the heat of Florida for a vacation to see the kids in Tennessee? Okay. At Peggy Lou Leven's. The name of the card you got and your answer to that question. If and when she's going to get to go see her kids in Tennessee. The 10 of Wands. Yes, you will, but I think it's going to be a difficult trip, maybe because of the extra precautions you're going to need to take. And this makes me think it's not going to happen right away. Okay, let's see. Suzanne, nice to see you here. Okay, you're in Nova Scotia. Go with healing. So I think you guys are Canada's doing a little better than we are here, so that's a good thing. Okay. Okay, so I am all the way through the burning questions. So this is last call for burning questions. And if you are still doing readings, by all means, please continue. And this is a time I'm going to put out another call for any thoughts or questions about tarot, particular cards you don't understand, particular techniques, particular spreads you did that didn't make sense, any of those things at all. Feel free to ask them here and we will address them. In the meanwhile, if you have your spare deck, you need your 4 pages, your 4 tens, and your 4 aces pulled out, just the minor arcana cards. If you don't have a spare deck, once you do your last reading, please pull those 12 cards out of your deck. We're going to focus on those cards. Hey, Ian, nice to see you here. Glad you're here. So, and let's see. A tarot question. For a yes or no answer, oh, this is a good one. I'd like to see everyone ringing in on this and actually ringing in on a broader. For a yes or no answer, Twisted Yoga wanted to know, Ian, what's up? This is a tarot meetup. Are you interested in tarot? Okay. Interesting. I wonder if you're not seeing all the comments, Kim. I don't know. Okay. So before we do my work with the pages, tens, and aces, let's address this question about yes and no questions. And what Twisted Yoga wanted to know is, for a yes or no, should you use just the majors? And I think that there are so many different techniques for yes and no. I would love to hear, do you do yes and no questions? No, this is not cooking, it's tarot. Okay, do you do yes or no questions? Oh, good question from Michael, too. We're going to get to that, too. Okay. Would you do yes or no? Do you do yes or no questions, and what is your technique? Now, the thing is, some people just don't do yes or no questions. Instead, they would rather rephrase the question. So instead of will I get a job, it's what do I need to know about getting a job, or what do I need to do in order to get a job? Now, Mary Kay Greer on her blog has this great spread for yes or no that is really good. I'll show you my yes or no. And if any of you have yes or no ways of doing it, let us know what you do. So, some people say you can't do yes or no questions with tarot. I say, oh, yes, you can. But you have to be prepared for the idea that there won't be an answer. So here's what I do. I ask the yes or no question. I pull 1 card. If I can interpret that as a clear yes or clear no, fine, I'm done. If I can't, that's when I'm going to rephrase the question and start pulling cards to get the whole narrative, the whole story. That's how I do it. Now, Michael asks the question, and okay, go with healing. Does do yes or no. How do you do it? Kim uses her pendulum. Yeah, absolutely. That's always a way to go. And, okay. From Pamela, my philosophy is you do you. You read however works for you. There are so many ways to do it. For me personally, I use the whole deck. Yes, no is not my favorite, but I do 3 cards and see. Okay, very good. We seem to have acquired a troll. How much fun is that? You really know you've arrived as a group when that happens. Okay, David Victor. I do yes/no questions using 3 cards. 3 straight up is yes, 3 reversed is no, and 2 out of 3 is a conditional answer, and then I also interpret the cards. That's a good way to do it. Ashley, never considered yes or no questions with tarot. Kim, timing readings. For timing readings, I read reverse cards as a no, but the card itself gives more information than just a no. Julie loves yes and no. 1 card, and if unclear, reshuffle. A pile for yes, a pile for no, and a pile for maybe. What else we need to know? I sometimes read the top card, second card, and shadow card on each pile. Very good. Michael Wells, yes or no? 3 cards, upright, yes, reverse, no, best 2 out of 3. Very good. And Krika has found also another way from Mary Greer. Reversals, no, upright, yes. 3 out of 5 cards. Anamora uses, this is from Go Within, uses 3 piles, yeses, 3 aces, or 2 aces, and the witch. There you go. So those are all different ways to do it. Now, the question of, from Julia. The tarot seems to always want to give you more information than a simple yes or no. Well, that is very true. So there's always a why. There's always a possibility. AM, nice to see you here. I have an old method, 13 cards in piles of 3, depending on how many upright aces for an S. Yep, for yes. Good to see you. Good to see you all here, and good to see you answering these questions. So, and yeah, there's a lot of love for the pendulum here, just using the pendulum. Absolutely. So, Michael's question, why would anyone just use the major or just use the minors? Now, there are some decks that literally are majors only. That's all you get. But why would you just use the majors or just use the minors? The only time I ever do that, well, a couple of things. If it's a new student and they're just learning, I might have them work with the majors for a while, because the majors really are a complete deck. You can do a lot with just the majors. Beyond that, though, it's really just for study. Whatever feels best for study. Kim says there's a complicated yes-no technique that involves making 3 piles. First pile, you make 1 card at a time until you get an ace or 13 cards, and then move on to the next pile, ace equals yes. Okay, so lots of good ways to play with that, for sure, for sure. Yeah, if you are someone who does not really have a handle yet, on the full 78, just working with the majors is good for pretty much anything. Absolutely. Now, any other tarot questions here? Right, Sally says, I do yes or no, but I accept the fact that it may tell more of a story. Right, because a lot of things in life are not black and white. Sometimes the future is not set. Even like if you use a pendulum chart, you got yes, no, and DWA, don't want to answer. Question from David, what's the shadow card? The next one or the bottom one? For me, it's usually the one at the very bottom, but I think Julie has answered that too. Sorry, I've got Julie and Julia, and I love you both, and I'm trying not to mix you up. And you both have B for a last initial, Julie Barrett and Julia Bonastile. So we have a lot of people. Okay, very good. Oh, interesting question. Do I think the future is ever set? Yes, sometimes. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. So this is a great question about future predictions. Is the future ever set? What I have seen in all of these years of full-time reading is sometimes you can predict the future and it's coming like a freight train and there's nothing you can do about it. Sometimes there's a possible future, but you can change it. Sometimes the future is completely unpredictable. That's how I see it. Okay. Okay, so there's a couple of recommendations for different decks and books for yes, no. So take a look at that. Here's a question from Ashley. I would like to know what the tower means. I kind of freak out when it comes up. So everyone share your thoughts about the tower now. And it can, I understand why you would freak out. It could be the single most destructive, devastating card in the deck or not. The tower is certainly a sudden change. It can talk about real difficulty. It can talk about things that really shake your world up in a really big way. But here's the thing. That which is built on a faulty foundation cannot stand. And so the tower asks us to examine, what in your life is not built on a good foundation. And the tower will sometimes ask you to consider it and clean it out yourself, or will come up to say, okay, you didn't do what you needed to do, so now we're doing it for you. Star 85201 says abrupt change. Sure. Julia says, I love the tower. It's a new paradigm shift. Claire, old paradigms are shifting and giving way to new beginnings. Barbara Money, something we have built that is going away and something better is coming. Pamela, stripping back to a solid foundation. Okay. So TK says major arcana is certain future, minor arcana is changeable future. Some people do see it that way, absolutely. Michael Wells, regarding is the future set? I don't believe the future is set, but I do believe there are certain things that are going to happen no matter what. So there you go. Tower is breaking down of things. This is from Michael. Tower is breaking down of things as we know them to inspire growth. Laura, I look at the tower as a shakeup, but it's always for your highest and greatest good. Dave, I looked up at the burning twin towers on 9/11 and saw the tower card manifested. Yeah, no doubt. TK, tower means either strengthen your foundations to hold on like a job or a relationship or rebuild from scratch. I got tower for job stability and I had to work on my karma to sustain my job. Right. Kim, I associate the tower with the Tower of Babel in the Bible. It's sudden, unavoidable loss, but what is lost was moving you in the wrong direction anyway. AM can also be an aha moment. Absolutely. Marion, the tower. I welcome seeing the tower because it can give a heads up to something that's coming. It's hard to go through, but ultimately for our own good. Mercedes, tower for me means that whatever is being brought down or shaken up needed to be removed so a stronger structure or relationship can be built as it should. Twisted Yoga, tower, question everything. Peggy Lou, build a stronger foundation. Go within healing. Something is about to change and could leave you in shock, but it's for the better, as whatever you are doing or at in your life may not be in your best interest. Wake up call to look at something. Sally, tower, things may be collapsing, but it's not always a bad thing. It may be releasing you from something you didn't know you needed to be released from. Kim, you will learn the hard truth about something. Learning this will save you time and further disappointment in the future. AM points out that the tower is associated with Mars, the god of war. Star 85201, being able to shake off anything that is destructive to yourself or others. AM, forceful energy. Julie Barrett, the tower can be the change you need, but we're afraid to make. Okay. What are the cards you wanted us to put aside, please? Yes, the 4 pages, the 4 tens, and the 4 aces from the minor arcana. Serena, somewhere in my reading, someone said the tower is all about learning a new language. Isn't that interesting? AM, but acts like Pluto if you don't do what you need to. But acts like Pluto if you don't take of what you need to it will happen the way it needs to. Yep, so true. Okay, thank you for that. So, yes, the aces, the pages, and the tens. Lynn Sexton, along with change, the tower can shed light on the truth of a situation. Yes, the lightning that strikes the tower down can be enlightening. Absolutely. And it may be a hard truth you didn't want to see, but it'll be a truth. Okay. You may have noticed my blog post this week. I write at least one blog post every week, along with my newsletter. And that is on my website, christianagaudet.com. And this week it was the power of the aces. And I wanted to, and in the blog post, I talked about the 4 aces. And I made some comparisons between the aces, the pages, and the tens. And I thought this would be fun for us to play with. You know, the aces, I think, are cards that seem very easy to get our heads around. So when we're new tarotists, what do we say? Oh, they're new beginnings. What kind of new beginnings are they? Well, based on the suit. Ace of Pentacles, new money, new job. Ace of Cups, new love. Ace of Wands, new passion, new project. Ace of Swords, new truth, new idea. Easy enough. And I think often we get stuck there. And I really think the aces are just as deep as and just as spiritual as any major arcana card. And so the first thing I would like us to do today is look at the aces. Oh, Claire likes the enlightening lightning. Yeah, that's fun, right? I can't take credit for that. My client, Mike David, came up with that. Client friend, he's a reader in West Virginia. Very, very good reader. Anyway, so I just stole that from him. Ace of Wands would be a new creative project or a new passion. So I would like to start by looking at some deeper meanings for the aces. What I'd like you to do is any question or idea you have about any single ace, just give us which ace and what you think about it. It could be a question, it could be a thought, it could be something you see in it. And I'm just going to riff on some of the things I see. I see aces as chakras. Ace of Pentacles, the root chakra. Ace of Cups, sacral and heart. Ace of Swords, throat and brow. Ace of Wands, solar plexus and crown. That's fun, right? I like that. What about this? What about the aces as archetypes? The Ace of Cups is the Holy Grail, the womb of Mary Magdalene. The Ace of Swords is Excalibur. Now, for those of you who are Wiccan and do the Great Rite, we can see the Great Rite here, where the sword is to male as the chalice is to female. Now, when we talk about male, we can also see the Ace of Wands absolutely as a phallic symbol. And, I'll tell you, I was doing readings the other day. Someone had finally decided they wanted to have a child. And so I was like, okay, well, what do we want to do about that? I pulled the Ace of Wands, okay, just go have sex, right? Have a child. Seemed that easy. Ace of Pentacles. With the Pentacles, we so often think about money and work, but it's also about how you take care of yourself. It could be a new diet. It could be your commitment to go to the gym. Ace of Cups, can it be the ocean? Sure. Ace of Wands, a spark of fire. Absolutely. Now, when we look at how we see the aces, they are new beginnings. They could be a gift, something that is given to you, but they are also the source or the essence of their element. AM, Ace of Wands, communication, telephone calls, sure. And I would also see that with the Ace of Swords. I can see the Ace of Swords as writing, being a writer, or just starting to write your book. From Pamela, Ace of Cups, container for nourishing life water related to hands cupping to hold the water to bring to lips. Very direct, but also receiving too. Absolutely. And of course, for you magically minded people, these are the 4 tools of magic. And so you can use these. You can use these to invoke the elements. You can use these to cast a circle. Now, one thing that I have noticed, and keep on sharing your ideas and your thoughts about the aces. Do you have any stories about aces? I've got a fun one. I've shared this with some of you. Very, very early on in my career, the Ace of Swords came up in the relationship position for someone I was reading for. And I was like, oh, your partner's very honest. No. What the Ace of Swords was they had just found out he was cheating. So it was new information, right? Okay. Claire, Ace of Cups, the Holy Ghost entering your spirit. Yes, sign of the Pentecost. Absolutely. Pamela, Ace of Pentacles, creating sacred space. Absolutely. Michael, Ace of Pentacles, new harvest. Yes. Julie, Ace of Pentacles. What is the archway? I always think about marriage. I sort of see it as the gateway to the garden, if you will, but it certainly could be. Okay, AM, seasons. Do you mean seeing the 4 aces as the 4 seasons? Certainly. Twisted yoga, Ace of Pentacles is grounding. 100% absolutely yes. Yes. Ace of Swords from Julie, the truth comes out or is given. Oh, heck yes. Or even tell the truth. Should I say something or not? Yes, I should say something. Absolutely. So one thing I had noticed, and I'd never really seen it before, but I notice it in some of the tarot study groups I'm in, that people sometimes have a hard time differentiating between the pages and the aces. So my question to you is, has that been true for you? Have you had a hard time seeing the difference, say, between the Ace of Cups and the Page of Cups, or the Ace of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles? Okay. TK, Ace of Pentacles, getting rid of toxic connections. Very good. Mercedes, Ace of Cups, feels like a cups of emotions. AM, Ace of Swords, surgery. Absolutely. Yeah, totally could be. So let's take a look. And Michael says in Victorian fairy deck, the suits are the seasons. Tell us which is which. Because there are all these different traditions for associating seasons with suits. So I'm interested in seeing which that is. Okay, Dave says the aces are all handed to us from on high. Well, I don't believe in that higher power thing. I can see them as a gift. We should never take them lightly. Kim, first meaning I heard for aces is a surprise. It honestly never means that for me, right? But the friend I used to read for would yell, surprise, with glee every time we got one. It was distracting. That's hilarious. I love it. The Moon Chariot, nice to see you here. Hello and yes on pages and aces. Okay, so we're going to talk about what the distinctions are. We're going to look at the Venn diagram of aces and pages so you can learn to make that distinction. Okay. Yeah, how do we eject a troll? I don't know how to do that. How do you do it? I'm on a second platform. I'm on Ecamm. And so I don't know how to do that. Otherwise, I absolutely would. I don't think I have that power using using what I have. Do you? Well, if you can, by all means, please do. Please do. Okay. Otherwise, we can just laugh at them. Okay. Let's see. Michael Wells. Aces describe the energy of the situation. Pages herald the coming of new energy. Okay, very good. Very good. Right, I don't have those options because I'm not actually on YouTube. You did it. Okay, well done. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, very good. Marion, I see the pages as evolved aces. They have taken the gift of the ace and now beginning to learn how to use the element. That's beautiful. I love that. Okay, Kim, my suit to season association comes from Victorian Fairy, and the people are always telling me I'm doing it wrong. Claire, I think the pages are more about learning and practicing something new. You are a novice. Okay, very good. Okay, so here's Victorian Fairy season. Spring is wands, summer is cups, autumn is pentacles, winter is swords. Okay, very good. Thank you, folks, for being good community gatekeepers. I appreciate that. I see. It only works for one person not to see. Got it. Okay. Yeah, well, that's, everyone in the group can also block. It's whatever. I think we know we've really made it when we start to attract trolls. We know we have arrived. And yeah, report. By all means, please report. Okay. Okay, very good. So what about those seasonal associations for the suits? Do you like those seasonal associations? Winter swords, spring wands, summer cups, autumn pentacles. Do you like it? I like it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, the moon chariot. Aces are the essence of. Pages are more practical beings. Sure. Okay, star 85201. Pages bring messages so can represent young people. Yes, yes, yes. So now, let's talk about the pages. Let's put the aces aside, talk about the pages, and then we'll make the connections. So the pages can very often be people. Like, would you ever see the aces as being a person? I mean, I can see the aces as being a pregnancy, a person about to be, but I don't know that I have ever seen the aces as being an actual person. I suppose that any card could be a person in a particular reading. But typically, would you ever see the aces as being a person? Whereas the pages could be a young person or a person of any age learning something new. And Pamela, about the seasonal associations, have said, those associations make sense to me, but I can never remember them. And Krika says, no, only a child. Not necessarily. You could have a page of any age if what they're doing is learning something new. Or if they are all about being a message, someone with something to say to you. Star 85201 says, I can see aces being a divine spirit. Yeah, absolutely. Especially the elementals. I mean, the aces are actually the four elements, earth, air, fire, and water. And if you see them as the guardians of the watchtower, they absolutely are divine spirits. 100%. So, let's see. So can the pages be immature? Yes, they can be. Yes, they can be. So they could be immaturity. It could be youth. It could also be learning, like anyone who's in school, anyone who's learning something new, or messengers. And so the pages can also be messages from those who have passed on. The pages can also predict that you are going to receive a message. So like we get those readings, is he going to call me? Well, the pages would say yes. And which page would sort of talk about the energy of the phone call? And Michael says, I can see the pages as a person, someone, and the aces is situational. And Krika says, I love the elements to understand better. Yes, absolutely. TK, ace is a process or action or thought or a symbol. So Kim says, my tarot meetup pulled Page of Swords for the month of June 2020. I can see it meaning this month that people are learning new ways to communicate about their truths, also questioning laws and enforcement. Oh, wow, that's huge. That's huge. I love it. I love it. I love it. Twisted Yoga, wow, this is so in-depth. This is definitely learning a new language for me. Yeah, for all of us. That's absolutely right. Tarot is a language. So when the pages are a person, the element, the suit, will really talk about what their personality is or what they're doing or what they're learning. The pages can come up to tell you to learn something or to tell you to communicate about something. And again, the suit, the element, will tell you what that would be. Now, if you get an ace as a significator, that to me, good question, Claire, that to me would say you are a person who, for instance, Ace of Pentacles, you may be a person working a new job. Ace of Pentacles, you may be a person who cares very much about the earth, about the planet. Ace of Pentacles, you may be a person who is saving money. Ace of Pentacles, you may be a person who is very grounded. Ace of Cups, you may be a person who is very loving or very sensitive or very emotional. You may be a person who is very compassionate. Ace of Wands, you're going to be a person with a really good sense of humor. You're going to be a person who's very creative, maybe an artist, or you may be a person who's really very pissed off. Ace of Swords, you're a person who's going to tell the truth. You're a person who is good with technology. You're a person who's a good communicator. Can Ace of Pentacles mean lazy? I wouldn't go there. I mean, if you got that in a reading, sure. If you believed it in a reading, sure, but I wouldn't necessarily go there. Lynn, then something new is really big for the aces or much smaller scale with the pages. Yeah. I don't like new for the pages. I like young. So aces new, pages young, if that makes sense. For me, anyway. Sally, I'm always insecure about my interpretations of pages as youth or study and messages. Yeah, no doubt. Twisted Yoga, that's funny. Yes, me being the querent. Yes, absolutely. Okay. So curious about labeling cards. Are there differences with pages and princesses in different decks? Oh, now there's a can of worms. Some people will say yes, some people will say no. Some people will say it's an entirely different thing. I don't think it is. But also, how do you feel it in a reading? How does it show up in a reading, right? So, Sally, here's a good exercise for all of us. I'm addressing this to Sally, but it's for all of us. Take your 4 pages and shuffle them. Just the 4 pages. Oh, Pamela Thies, Ace of Pentacles, plant seeds. I love that. Star, Ace of Swords, a person who may overthink. Sure. Okay, shuffle your 4 pages. And the answer is, or the question is, what do I need to communicate more? Where in my life do I need to communicate more? And pick one card. Page of Cups. So that would mean I need to share my heart more. I need to speak about my heart more. I need to share what's in my heart. If you got the Page of Swords, You need to share your opinion. You need to share what you think. Oh, Michael, pages in my deck are called heralds. That's beautiful. Page of Wands. You need to share your inspiration. Page of Pentacles. You need to speak about practical things. You need to share practical information. You know, something like that. Maybe you have different interpretations. So, and I think when Sally speaks about her insecurity, what she is saying is, I'm not sure if I'm looking at a child. I'm not sure if it's about learning something. I'm not sure if it's about a message. And that's where trusting your intuition is so important. And that's why you should take my class on June 30th. How about that? Okay, now, let's do some Venn diagram work. Y'all know what a Venn diagram is, right? When you're comparing two things, it could be more than two things, but here, two things. Oh man, we're all sharing our hearts here. So what do they have in common and what do they have differently? Page of Swords. What they have in common would be about communication, right? But differently, Page of Swords might be a person. Ace of Swords would be a concept. They could both be about learning, right? They could both be about communication. They could both be about technology. They could both be about learning. Could they both tell you to go to school? Yes. Could they both tell you to communicate? Yes, because it's swords. Swords. So let's do one more of these. Maybe we'll do all of them. How about cups? So the Ace of Cups could predict a new love. The Page of Cups could ask you to learn about love. The Ace of Cups could talk about your baby. The Page of Cups could talk about your child. They can both speak about learning about love. The Page of Cups very clearly could be a message of love. Cups could be Ace of Cups could be your heart chakra. So you can see there are ways they are the same, there are ways they are different. Does that make sense? And so I feel like I have not fully addressed how do you know which is which. Okay, yes, it's your intuition. You can also try all three. And I'm going to throw this at you too. The pages can be your pets. We were talking earlier about people's cats. Those can be pages as well. So you may start with, okay, do you have a kid? Does this page talk about your kid? Do you have an animal? Does this page talk about your animal? Have you been thinking about going to school? Is there a way you need to communicate more? You can do this by process of elimination. Go through all the possibilities. Could pages be a teacher? Yes. A teacher or a student. So, Page of Pentacles. Either could be a new job. You know, that would be right in the center of the Venn diagram. Again, a pregnancy versus your child, right? Or your pet. Either could be, did I say either could be a new job? Yes. Either could be generating new money or learning more about money. But the page would be more likely to go to business school. Like this is, Page of Pentacles would be going to business school. Page of Pentacles is what you're planning to do, which is make some money because you went to business school. And Julie very smartly brings in astrology. The Page of Cups would be Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. And so, yes, when they're describing people, they could be describing people based on their sun sign, right? Right? Absolutely. Excuse me. Okay, now. Okay. Kim, sometimes these cards come up as obvious answers. Like if you ask about a child and pull a page, started something new and pull an ace. Yeah, sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's less so. And the thing is, I think sometimes when it's obvious, we're like, oh, I love tarot. I love when tarot's so direct. And sometimes when it's not, then we're like upset. But really when it's not is when you can get the best reading because you have to dig in and figure it out. Take the time to dig in when it's not obvious. Question part 2. If the suit is equally obvious, how do you get information from the card? How do you read it? Can you rephrase that question? I'm not sure I understand. Like, okay, I always think about keywords associated with number and rank and keywords associated with suit. So like keyword associated with suit with the Ace of Wands would be passion, creativity, enthusiasm, humor, athleticism, activity, motivation, sexuality, spirituality, anger. And keywords associated with Ace would be new, beginning, element, source. Kim, I'm more frustrated when it's obvious. Like, thanks for telling me what I already know. Yep, got it. Okay. Any reason for the different directions they're facing? And that's different in different decks. And there may be, in some of the more traditional decks, the artist may have had a reasoning. But it's interesting when they come up with in readings and there's more than one person there and they're either facing each other or facing away or facing in the same direction. You can tell a lot about a relationship that way. So let's just look at the wands here. Okay, so Ace of Wands, we've got this exciting new thing. Page of Wands could be someone learning an exciting new thing. So like here, I see the Page of Wands is the artist and the Ace of Wands is the project they're working on. Michael, how do you dig in, pull more cards as clarifiers? That's one possibility, to pull more cards. The other is to really think about it, to really turn it over in your mind, to do some research, to think about, to find out what else this card could mean. So yes, you can dig in by pulling more cards, by meditating, by researching, and just sometimes by talking it out. Sometimes even if you're reading for yourself, talking it out loud. And even if you're with a client, you can say, this is a really interesting thing. Let's talk about it. And often when talking about it, it comes out. Okay, and regarding the pages and who they're facing, how they face the querent is significant. Are they looking at or looking away? This is a really pretty Ace of Wands, isn't it? Okay, so now let's look at the tens. So why did I bring up the tens? Well, because tens are aces, right? In terms of numerology, ace and 10 are the same, but they're not the same, are they? We often think of ace as the beginning of the journey and 10 as the end of the journey. But maybe 10 can also be where we begin our journey and ace the solution we finally get to. I often think about the tens as the higher octave, same energy, higher octave. So let's look at our aces and their respective tens and see what we see there. Oh, this is Crystal Visions Tarot from US Games. It's still in print. It's a fun deck. Dave, I see court cards facing each other are not indicating the quality of the relationship involved. Sure. Oh, and another thing with how you dig deeper into the cards from Sally. Look at the art. What are you drawn to? Don't just look at it, look into it. And you guys, I think you've given me next week's blog post. How do you dig deeper into cards you don't understand? From Star, Ace of Wands is the beginning of a project goal, and the Page of Wands is actually acting it and doing it. Right. Okay, so the tens. The interesting thing about the tarot tens, let me get all my tens together. Where are my tens? 10. The interesting thing here is like your feminine tens, the cups and the pentacles are so lovely. And the masculine tens are kind of butthurt. So that's an interesting thing right away. Okay, Twisted Yoga. When you return the pull cards to your deck, do you place them upright or reversed? I don't even think about it. They just go in the way they go in. But I think different people have different ways of doing that. So how do we see, like, let's look at the hardest. The Ten of Swords is a very difficult image. Ace of Swords. So how do these cards go together? I think they're both about the truth, but in the 10, the truth really hurts, right? So there's that. When we look at the Ace of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles, I feel like the Ace of Pentacles is when you just purchase your house, and the 10 of Pentacles is when you live in it. The Ace of Wands and the 10 of Wands, I really like this one. Ace of Wands is the project. The 10 of Wands is the freaking hard work you have to do to complete it. And Ace of Cups is falling in love. The 10 of Cups is the family you create with that love. So, we do see a connection there as well. So any questions about the 10s, any questions about how all these cards go together, go ahead and put them in. And let's do a final exercise. Why don't we all take all of these cards together, shuffle them, so you're shuffling 12 cards. And since the summer solstice is next week, so we're closing out the light half of the year and moving into the dark half of the year. So let the question be, this is good for Marion, 10 of Swords. You've said all you have to say. There is nothing left to communicate. That's smart. I like that. So let's shuffle these and let's do a little retrospective. Let's look back over the past 6 months. The question is, for each one of us, and we'll do it for each one of us, what did I learn or accomplish in these past 6 months? Ace of Pentacles. I learned more about how to take care of myself and take care of my business in a pandemic. Okay. Kim, Ace of Swords was Colin Kaepernick kneeling. Are the people in the streets all over the world, the 10 of Swords seems too negative. I think it depends what's going on, like which protest you go to. And Claire says, great way to understand the cards through comparing. I am all about comparing and contrasting cards. I think it helps so much, so much. So don't just tell us what you got, tell us your interpretation. And as you do that, we are coming to our last few minutes. I want to thank you so much for being here. Now is the time to share your shameless self-promotion. Do you have a website? Do you have an Instagram account, a Facebook page, a YouTube channel? Something that you would like to share with us? Something that you would like to check out, like us to check out? Please go ahead and drop it in the comments. Let us support each other. Share your stuff right here. Pamela, if we look at the numerology portion, Z, infinite potential, no beginning and no end. Often we say 10s are the completion of the cycle, and already starting the new cycle. It takes both, yes. Yes. Julie, 10 of Cups, doesn't feel like it. It's about your family and new home is a fresh start toward happiness, 100%. Remembering that home is where the family is. Claire, I learned more about handling my finances with the Ace of Pentacles. TK, you want me to pick one for you? Yes. TK, Ace of Cups. I'll let you interpret it. Okay. Very good, very good. So we are starting to see people dropping their shameless self-promotion. So again, I am Christiana C. Gaudet on Facebook. For my personal page, please friend me. Please like my business page on Facebook, Christiana Gaudet. And please ask to join Global Tarot Circle on Facebook. Please join us back here on YouTube for a live class next Saturday, 10:30 a.m. And please reach out to me for readings by phone, Skype, FaceTime, Messenger, Zoom. I'm also available for mentorship. Wherever you are in your tarot journey, your business journey, or your personal growth journey, I can help you get to the next step. Please sign up for my newsletter, Tarot Topics, on my webpage, christianagaudet.com. And please sign up for my class on June 30th, Psychic Tarot. I'll look forward to seeing all of you there. Please support each other. Please be there for each other. And I thank you all so much for being here. So, Twisted Yoga, Page of Swords, in the past 6 months, you tell me, did the past 6 months teach you to stay on your toes? Perhaps it did. Mercedes, what did the past 6 months teach you with the Ten of Swords? Maybe how to deal with a lot of difficulty. Okay. Folks, I want to thank you so much. I will look forward to seeing you. And remember, we're going to do that informal thing for the summer solstice in the Global Tarot Circle group at 5 p.m. Eastern Time next Saturday. Very good. Thank you all so much for being here. I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Take good care.